G. Bush, man, oh man, do we have some stuff to talk about today? Adam the Bull should be joining us in any minute. It is G. Bush of GNN, the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, some little radio show in town that we won't mention because that's a whole different story. We got a lot to get into, guys, and I promise you we'll get into everything. Here's Bull powering up right now, so we'll get
my camera's not working for some reason, so I'm going to reboot.
All right, reboot that. That's why Bull's not here. We'll bring Bull on in a sec when he gets ready. G, I'm going to let you go on a rampage here, but I want to give everyone a few extra seconds to climb in. We already have over 200 people in here, and we've been on for 39 seconds. So real quick, don't go off on a rant. Don't go on a tangent. But, G, I'm just going to say this. I'm going to say this, and I need you to give me a little therapy session before I let you give everyone else therapy. This is my first year in Cleveland. The Browns winning is good for business. Henceforth, I want the Browns to win every game. I wanted them to go 17-0 this year. It was unrealistic, but that is what I wanted. And I am upset at myself for allowing myself to believe in this team. And is that just a Cleveland disorder? Is that a Browns – like, I bought a brown shirt. You see this? Like, I got the Guardians hat on. I got the brown shirt.
Yeah.
What's up? What's up?
So you got bought into the Kool-Aid. See, the best part about the Cleveland Browns is the fans. The best part about the Cleveland Browns is the community. It's the people that you go out with. It's the people that you tailgate with. It's the people you see in the grocery store. Those are the best parts of what the Cleveland Browns are. And so you get caught up in that, and you get caught, and you want to win. You want to see everybody be happy. But week after week, they chip away at your soul. Week after week, you lose something. You lose a part of yourself. And then by the time you get to the end of the season, you feel like you've been taken advantage of. You feel vulnerable. You feel like you need a cold shower. You feel like you just feel like they've taken everything from you. And then you get to a point where you're almost angry, and it's bad because you just don't even like looking at the colors. You don't like the helmets, the gear. None of it. You don't like anything about the Browns, and you got to take 3 months off just to refresh yourself and bring your soul back.
Bull, how you doing, man?
I'm all right. Yeah, this is brutal. We really need the Dolphins to win at least. So the Steelers. It's bad enough the Steelers win this game. It's bad enough the Steelers are over 500. I can't believe it. We need the Dolphins to win because otherwise the Steelers are going to the playoffs because the Patriots are finished, right? I don't know if that game's over yet, but it's probably over. I'll give you some live scores real quick while we're going through this here. But as of this exact moment, Bull, do you have the Dolphins game on? No, I still have the Browns game on. You know? Okay, well, the Bills are up 12 with the ball with 3 minutes left, so that's most likely done. And in Miami, New York, it is 6-6. Oh, Miami just took the lead. Miami leads 9-6. Yes. The field goal with 18 seconds left. If Miami wins, they are in. If they lose, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, Cleveland Browns score holds up, the Steelers, would make the postseason. So Miami, it looks like it's going to be over. It looks like the Steelers are not going to make the playoffs, but, hey, the Jets have come back before in a very little time. Don't get me started. By the way, if somehow it ends up in a tie, if the Dolphins-Jets game somehow ends up in a tie, the Steelers are in anyway. So we're going to talk about everything, guys. We're going to talk about the coaching staff. We're going to talk about Deshaun Watson. Yeah. Nick Chubb. By the way, we got to talk about, most importantly, we got to talk about G's new background there with the barbershop and the barber pole. That is beautiful. Blew up and he automatically updated his set. Man, that looks sweet, G. I love that. Hey, man, shout out to my interior decorator. My mother was here. She did that? Oh, yeah, she did all this. It's awesome. Yeah, that is sick. We're going to get to everything. Bull, you missed it in the intro. I was just telling G before I let him go off as we get some more people in here. As someone who works in Cleveland now, you want the Browns to win because it's good for business. Like, winning is good for business. Even if you're, Bull's out there, people know he's a Bengals fan. We want the Browns. Of course I want the Browns to win. We want the Browns to win because it's good for business. And I let myself believe in the Cleveland Browns, and I'm disappointed knowing what I knew about Cleveland before I moved here.
for allowing myself to believe.
First of all, let's not overly dramatize.
No, listen, I'm just saying.
There's other bad organizations
yes,
there.
Hold on.
The Browns don't stand alone. The Lions are there. The Jets are there. But
my point is, I fully believed in this team looking at the roster top to bottom. Yeah. And just like Clevelanders have for the last 20-something years, it ends in a little disappointment. G, you sent us a text.
20-some years? More than that.
Well, since 99, I'm saying. Since 99.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But, G. Bush, you sent us a text beforehand, and your last rant did 170,000 likes on Twitter, so I'm expecting at least 180,000 for this one. You don't have 6 minutes uninterrupted, but Bull and I are going to shut up.
Go ahead.
And whatever your text said, and I'm going to read the text. G, do you mind if I read it to the group?
It, man.
In the group chat, which we appreciate everyone as a coach's tier for joining. I'm not sure if this was in – we put it in there, but G said, and I quote, "This post-game show is going to be fire. If you want to argue against Stefanski, buckle the F up because we can die on this hill." So, Zach agrees with you. Our first super chat, fire Stefanski now. They're going to fire him by the trade deadline next year anyway. G. Bush, the floor is yours as Bo leaves.
Guys, I try to be going into this game, I thought we had an opportunity to end on a great note, and had an opportunity to like look good and at least give somebody something to look forward to during the season. But as I sit here and watch this game, the Cleveland Browns are no closer than they were when they had Hugh Jackson. Think about this: we went 1-31. We went 1-31 for us to accumulate this talent, for us to get these first-round picks, for us to do all of this, and it brought us one playoff victory. Yeah. We waited and suffered for years for this. And now we got guys like Deepa Desta, they drive jets, planes. He's here 2 days a week. And the most disrespectful part about it, I was doing my radio show, and they come in with an announcement. The Browns are going to have a press conference on Monday at 3. You know what? You can miss me with all that noise. I have no feelings. I'm not trying to hear what you're talking about. Why don't you put that same effort and energy onto the field when these guys are out here beating the brakes off of us? You got a press conference at 3 to talk about what? What you didn't talk about for the last 3 years? You didn't say what Clowney did. You're going to come out and say what he did? You don't say what Myles Garrett did. You're going to talk about that? You're going to talk about whether you're going to give up play calling? Is Van Pelt leaving? Are you firing Joe Woods? Don't tell me about what you're going to do now, because you know what? They take advantage of us. They take advantage of all these good people out there that support these guys year after year. I've never seen a team market around next year. These guys already is getting into the next year. And shout out to the season tickets holders. They'll be already got in your emails talking about let's go. Your seats are available. We're not going to raise prices. You shouldn't raise nothing. I'm going to keep it real. Cody Pickett, Alan Pickett, what's his name? Deshaun Pickett?
Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett is garbage. The Steelers are terrible. That is the worst Steelers team I've ever seen in my life, and you came out there and couldn't do nothing well. Jedrick Wills.
Who just got hurt, by the way.
He wasn't doing nothing.
I know.
I'm not going to speak on your injury, dog. I'm going to speak to you when I saw you. You don't bend your legs. You don't bend your body. You out there looking like you on skates. The offensive line had cats all in the backfield. This team is horrible. I don't like the jerseys. I don't like the face masks. I don't like the playbook. I don't like the food y'all serve in the cafeteria. I don't even like the PA announcer when he's talking about first down. This team is the worst team I've ever seen in my life. And the fact that Kevin Stefanski feels he's safe out here. How is he safe? How are you even remotely safe? You thought you did something. You thought if you just shut up, never tell anything in a press conference, and keep everybody around, you would skate and make it. Here's what we're gonna do. Let me tell you something. You know what? I'll do an opening monologue on you for 26 straight weeks. You think you're gonna slide? You every week on the show, we got a Kevin Stefanski banner every week. I'll tell McNuggets in the rundown. Do we got a fire Stefanski rundown right now? This is ridiculous. And you sit up there like you safe. He is not safe. And you know what? I'm gonna tell you this right now. If I was Myles Garrett, get me the hell out of town. If I was Nick Chubb, get me the hell out of town. I don't want no parts of this. You know why? Y'all ain't trying to win. I would go as a package deal, and I would tell them, you think I'm playing now? I would say, get me up out of here, because the Cleveland Browns are in last place again. The Cleveland Browns are the worst team in the division again. And they're playing against rookies. They're playing against Pickett. He's not even good. And you sit up here like you guys got all day and twice on Sunday. I'm not hearing about your play calling. The offense looks trash. I don't even know where Deshaun Watson is at. Right now, there is nothing to be optimistic about, and we don't got no picks. Hey, Myles Garrett, just roll out, bro. Just ride out. You're not going to win next year if he here. Let it be known. Nick Chubb, you going to listen. The ghost of Joe Thomas is in me right now. Go ahead, buddy. Listen, you think these cats gonna pat you on the back and love you? No. Odell gonna got a ring. Guess what? Kareem Hunt will be out of here, and he'll be a feature back somewhere getting carries. Get up out of here. It's a clown show. If they didn't pay me to watch it, I wouldn't watch it. I don't want no tickets. I don't want no $50 sideline, nothing. Bye. Take it away.
Bull, let me read a super chat before I let you go, Bull.
Yeah.
Nicole D says, it's likely only Woods and Prefer are gone. Jimmy has to set a playoff mandate next year for D. Podesta, Andrew Berry, and Stefanski. Anything less, they're all gone. Well, I think me and you are pretty in line with our Stefanski take, so I'm curious where you are now after today as we head to the offseason.
Well, first of all, I love G's passion. I love how much it hurts him. I don't love it, but you know what I mean? Like, he's so passionate about this team. He wants everybody to go, and he wants to hate this team, but he loves this team. He loves this team. He's born and raised with this team, and that's why he's so passionate. I actually agree with 95% of what he said. But let me say where it starts. Let me hit on the one thing that G I don't think hit on in that rant that bothers me so much in what is a disastrous season. There's no other way to look at it. I don't want to hear about, in the end, I don't want to hear about excuses, because we thought the excuse was Jacoby Brissett playing 11 games instead of Deshaun Watson. Jacoby Brissett played good football. Not elite, but good, solid football for most of the 11 weeks.
Yes.
And so there is no excuse for the Browns to be in last place. The Steelers were 2-6. 2-6, and they finished under 500. But here's the thing. The one thing you left out, G, in your rant, like I said, I agree with most of it. The Haslams are ultimately the biggest problem. And I know some people will say, well, what's the point of talking about the Haslams because there's nothing we could do about it? Well, I don't know. There probably is nothing we could do about it ultimately. They're extremely rich. They seem to have no desire to want to sell the team. We got their idiot son-in-law, J.W. Johnson, on Twitter.
You took a shot at him today, Bull. I love that.
Well, because he's like, oh, how about that face mask? And I'm like, how are you qualified for, shut up about the penalties. Don't whine. Like, losers whine about penalties. There's always going to be some bad call, some good. Some games it goes for you, some games it goes against. Fans are biased, so they think all the calls goes against them. I do the same thing when I watch Bengals games, but then I realize, oh, yeah, I'm being biased. It's the referees are not cheating. That's stupid. Yeah, gambling's legal now, so the league's going to throw away the league's going to throw away their whole money system just to cheat for the Steelers. Yeah, that makes plenty of sense. Okay, the Haslams are awful. They're not good people. They can't run an organization. They have run this organization for a decade. I remember when and I know you remember, G, when the Haslams bought this team, because the previous ownership wasn't good either. Yeah, and when the Browns bought this team, we were all excited. We all wanted to give the Haslams the benefit of the doubt, and they have been a unmitigated disaster. As G said, one playoff win. One playoff win for 10 years has been a disgrace. The nepotism in the organization, some of the embarrassing people they've had run the show, Alex Shiner, all the nonsense with him, the son-in-law again, J.W. Johnson, who's an ass clown. I mean, let's be honest. The whole thing is an absolute joke. So it starts with ownership. And I've been really this week thinking about how I've defended Kevin Stefanski after years of being the first one to say, get Hugh Jackson the hell out of here. Get Pat Shurmur the hell out of here. Get Rob Chudzinski the hell out of here. Get Mike Holmgren. Next guy. I feel like I was always the first one. And I'm like, what is with Kevin Stefanski? It's not just that he won. Like, I'm like, the guy's smart. I think he can bring something to the table. Now, I'm not saying I'm 100% certain that Kevin Stefanski's the wrong guy, but I think part of me has gotten so caught up in the fact that the Browns have fired so many people so quick that I just want to keep him. I think I just wanted to keep him because they've done it quickly every other time and it's never worked. And the Haslams are so freaking incompetent that even if they fire Kevin Stefanski, which you could argue he deserves to be fired, that I have zero faith they're going to get it right, and that ultimately puts you in such a terrible spot because okay, well Kevin Stefanski might not be the answer. And I'm starting to believe he might not be after for a while thinking he definitely was. And I've lost more and more faith especially these last 6 weeks. I've lost a ton of faith in Kevin Stefanski. Now, again, if they bring him back, okay. Well, I'm not as mad as G about it. I'm willing to give him one more try. But I'm not as certain. I'm certainly not as certain about him as I was 2 months ago. And even if they fire him, I'm just going to assume that the Haslams are going to hire the wrong guy again, and that sucks. Now, I do think roster-wise, they're in a better position. This is really the only thing I disagreed with you on, G. I do think they're in a better position roster-wise than when Hugh Jackson was here. However, not as much better as I thought. I mean, but ultimately it comes down to Deshaun Watson, and there are some other good players, but I agree with you. If I'm Myles Garrett, if I'm Nick Chubb, I'm sick of this stuff. I may want to get the hell out of here. And what can fans do? Stop. I've been saying this for years. Don't go to the games. Don't give them your money. You can watch at home for free. You can listen to on the radio for free. Don't give them your money. Don't buy merchandise. As G said right on the money, their merchandise is the worst in the league. Their social media game is pathetic. Their treatment of the fans is pitiful. They fired freaking Bernie Kosar today. He does. G and I didn't even know. We know Bernie. I didn't even know he did. I was on the pregame. I had no idea. He does one segment on the pregame, and he gets fired because he made a gambling bet for charity that I've heard he already got approved. I was told that Bernie got the okay from the team by multiple people told me that Bernie got the okay from the team, and then they fire him. The organization, again, treats their ex-players poorly. My buddy Dustin Fox played for the Bills for 8 seconds. They invite him there all the time.
Always
this organization is firing Bernie Kosar.
Absurd.
Are you kidding me?
Absurd.
What a joke. The whole organization's a freaking joke.
G, I got 2 super chats I got to read. Then I need your permission to do a G&N analogy. I want to see if you approve of this. First super chat. And G&N's going to stick. I'm sorry, but I can't.
Right.
I love GNN. GNN is awesome.
Abby Williams, another game where the penalties hurt us. Another game where we can't get off the field on 3rd and long. Fact. Another game where we were out coached. Another game Nick has been limited. Last place as usual. This next super chat comes from P. Rothstein. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Something's got to change, and the head coach and the rest of the coaches must go. Maybe the GM too. All right, G. So
wait, one more super chat I just saw from Charles T. Says,
if you click on it, you can punch it up.
Okay, I can.
I got you. I got you right here. Yep, I got you.
Okay. It says ownership is the problem. No coach can come in here and change the culture in 3 years, especially with Haslam. AB let the world know he chased Clowney for 2 years. That undercut coaching. Hey, listen, it's all part. Nobody gets a pass. Nobody gets a pass here. Ownership sucks. The front office has been mediocre at best. The coach has been mediocre at best. The players have been mediocre at best. The whole thing's a disaster. And 7-10 is unacceptable. Look at Mike Tomlin. They went with a rookie quarterback, and I don't know that I agree. There were 2 things I disagreed with G on. The first was I already said, I can't remember what it was.
The roster, Hugh Jackson.
The roster not being the only other one. I don't think Kenny Pickett sucks. I know you caught up in the moment. He doesn't suck, but he's not. But he's still a rookie who has made a lot of mistakes. He made some nice throws in the second half, but still, the last 2 Steeler touchdowns, their first touchdown to tie the game, and their touchdown at the end to put the game out of reach, is a total synopsis of what the Browns have been all season on defense. First, the broken coverage on 3rd and 8, and then that last drive. What did the Steelers get, like 4 first downs on 3rd and long on that last drive? It's ridiculous.
Yeah. 2 more super chats. And by the way, on super chats, guys, to keep them up on the side, we have to hover over them. So if we miss them later down, just remind us, we'll get back to them. This from Nicole D. You're 100% right on the Haslams. At least Randy Lerner realized he was awful, and so the team. We can only hope Jimmy and D do likewise. And then last one is from Charles T. again. It took Payton 8 years to change the Saints culture to Saints culture. If they fire Stefanski, you have to pick and stick with the guy for longer than 3 years. G, you ready for this analogy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I love cooking competition shows.
I do
I'm
too.
not watching sports. I'm watching the Food Network. Bull, do you watch Food Network at all?
Yes.
Not much. Not much.
So, G, you know how there's all these different variations of Chopped? There's like Chopped high rollers. There's
Chopped
like
kids.
Yeah.
So Chopped up kids, man.
Stefanski's like the executive chef that's on Chopped high rollers and gets Wagyu steak in his basket and turns it into stir fry. And he chops it up in super thin little slices and overcooks it because Wagyu steak, it doesn't matter if you're using Wagyu, you're using strip steak from Dave's Supermarket. When you cut into those little strips, all you do is do a quick sear on it. Next thing you know, it's done. It doesn't matter the quality of the meat. You throw it in with some rice and vegetables, you serve it. And the judges, Scott Conan, goes, you know what, this is pretty tasty, but I don't like how you utilize your star ingredient. You have Wagyu steak. Give me a filet, roast it, sear it. Give me something more than just cutting into little strips. On the flip side, not you, Siri, it's Scott Conan. Sorry, my Siri's acting up. On the flip side, Mike Tomlin's the guy who comes on Chopped, where they get like the leftover basket. And somehow
let's not get carried away. The Steelers are not. Yeah, come on.
Asparagus into some beautiful puree with
let's not get carried away. Let's not.
Scott Conan's like, oh, how in the world did you? I would never imagine these lackluster ingredients turning into a winning playoff team. And it comes down to this with Stefanski, in my opinion, after watching this year. And this is not Stefanski versus other coaches. This is Stefanski versus Stefanski. There are ways to utilize certain talents to maximum their abilities. And I'm not even looking at these last 6 games with Nick Chubb in particular, because I agree with the philosophy to make sure you know what you have in Watson heading into this offseason. But you have certain players on this team who, in my opinion, weren't utilized enough or utilized properly more often than not. That's not every game, but more often than not weren't utilized properly. And I think guys like more of Amari Cooper in a sense, where he had 4 targets today. There should never be a game where he gets 4 targets. And I know that's not necessarily play design, but you can get him, your star playmaker on the outside, more involved in the game plan. You can find ways to scheme up DPJ. And granted, the offensive line was abysmal today. We will talk about that. TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, Cam Hayward were in the backfield on every single play. And the fact that they were only sacked, Watson was at 6 sacks at the end of the day. He got out of like 15 more. I know that throws a wrench in some of the target disparity, but come on. Stefanski has the ingredients to make high-quality dishes, and what we're getting, it's okay. Their offense wasn't terrible this year, but it's like getting a stir-fry.
Here's a super chat, guys. Super chat from SG. Oh, that one?
We got this one first.
Go read that one.
Thinking about a new way, looking for a new team, flush 28 years of fans down the Crawford. Disappointed. There's always next year, I guess. Bull, click on the super chat. See if you could pop it up.
It won't let me do it. I tried.
All right. Is this from Blaine?
This one, read that one. I got one from
Blaine
SG.
Just had a Cooper only get 3 targets. Excuse me, I said 4.
Yeah.
3 is one of the 2. This is from SD.
SG, I think.
SG.
Yeah, that's the one.
I'm gonna laugh when the Browns are fine next season, and all your hollering and screaming will be for naught. Weird season. Quit whining. Well, I think there's plenty to whine about. And we got one more real quick from Munch TV. Our playbook looks like Tecmo Bowl.
Yeah.
Great game back in the day. I wish we had more Tecmo Bowl plays in there. We go deep more.
What I want to do is see, sometimes you get a little when you get excited, people don't understand what you're trying to do. So what we want to do here is we want to get to the fact that we're going to break something down. There's a lot of people in the Twitter and the chat. Now, chat, bear with me so you can hear this out. Everyone talks about flushing it down the toilet. It takes time for the system. It takes time for things to get up and running. Well, let me just give you a brief synopsis. The Browns came back in 1999. We all know that. That's history. But let me give you 2 other teams. Let me give you 2 other teams that came back in 1995. Okay? So these are expansion teams. Zip 0 starting from scratch. Let me give you the Jacksonville Jaguars. They've been in the league in existence since 1995. Let's count how many times they made the playoffs, right? Let's start off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. These people have
the Jags have made it 14 times?
14
really?
Times.
The playoffs?
Are you sure about that?
This is 95?
Let's get it together.
I'm looking at Jaguars year by year. Hey, keep going your rant, G. I'm just
okay.
That doesn't sound right, but I believe you.
Pull them up. GNN got it going.
No, they've got it 7 times. 7 times.
No, all-time playoffs. 14 games there.
14 games. You say
14 games. They
sorry. They've made it to the playoffs in 7 seasons, but they played 14 games. Okay,
they played 14 playoff games.
Yeah,
right. So let's go. Let's continue on. Carolina Panthers. They came into existence the same time as the Jacksonville Jaguars. They have played
Super Bowl.
17 playoff games.
Mm-hmm.
Your Cleveland Browns have been here since 1999. They have 3. Yep. Let's be clear. If you want to sit here and say that, if you want to say it takes time, well, actually, no, it doesn't, because there's expansion teams that done that. If you want to go to the most recent thing, where everybody needs a bunch of time to make things work, let's just go to the Jacksonville Jaguars. They were the worst team. They had their coach lap dancing on 18-year-old girls in bars, and they've turned that around, and now they're in the playoffs.
It's never been easier to turn around a franchise. You look at teams that hire new coaches and almost immediately can go from worst to first in the NFL. Now, it's not saying it's easy, but it's never been easier with salary cap, and the fact that, and I agree with you to an extent, the fact that the Browns have been patient, you by year 3 expect to see certain results, and so far you have not seen that progression from Kevin Stefanski.
You go over to the Giants. The Giants are in the playoffs. They have 9 wins with a quarterback that they don't even know if they want to give money to. So
I mean, the Dolphins,
all these people. And you can listen, if you don't want to listen to me because I'm emotional, well, I'm going to give you the numbers. The numbers say every other in the league has higher standards than you. Every other team finds a way to get it done. You find excuses. You find a reason to stay pat. And you find a reason that you're consistently one of the worst organizations in the league since they came into existence. And if you want to be okay with that, fine. You can wear your colors, go to the community lot, drink your beers, but don't get mad at other people that want to do something better, that want to be something better, that want to actually see this team get to a Super Bowl, because that stuff we saw today is no closer to a Super Bowl than any other coach we've ever had. And if you want to believe Kevin Stefanski could do it, just say you want to believe in your heart of hearts and you like unicorns and fairy tales and Captain Crunch. Good, awesome, but we ain't close, man. We're not close. We're just not.
2 super chats.
Hold on one second, guys. G, do you know? Give me the super chats real quick.
From Brett Watson, this ownership has been toxic. It started with Jimmy Haslam being investigated by the feds for fraud, and he's been a fraud in everything ever since. And this is from Buck. He says, I'm with you, G. All coaches need to go. Hire Bieniemy from the Chiefs. Give Watson what Mahomes has been working with. All you, Bull.
No, I'm not hiring Bieniemy. I want to coach. If they're going to fire him, I want a coach who has experience as a head coach.
Yeah, give me some experience.
I'm not taking a guy.
Yeah. I need a regular dude.
You want to hire Bieniemy as your offensive coordinator that gets to call the plays? Fine. But let's get a head coach that has experience. And, hey, so, G, you said the Texans have how many playoff games have the Jags and Texans played, you said, since 95? Do you have the number still?
It was 14 for the Jags. What was the Texans?
No, Panthers played 17.
Okay, 17.
I got the Texans.
So
Texans have played 10 games
since
2002.
So the Panthers,
by the way. Thank you, Barry.
The Panthers have played 17 playoff games since 95, you said, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we think of them as pretty much a bad franchise, don't we?
Nothing to write home about.
Okay, I was born in 1971. 1971, I'm 51 and change. I've been around for 52. This was my 52nd football season on earth. You know how many playoff game, not wins, how many playoff games the Browns have played in my entire life?
Since
17.
71.
17.
Yeah.
So the Browns in my entire life have played in the same amount of playoff games as we're not talking the Patriots, not the Steelers, not the Giants, not good organizations, as the Panthers have since 95.
The Panthers.
And
they've been to 2 Super Bowls. You've been to none.
None.
Yeah.
That hurts. That just puts it in perspective. I mean, you can, and Bull is a Bengals fan. Guess what? That don't lie. The numbers don't lie. Just to keep it real with you, you can't get mad at that. That's pure facts. He's been on the planet 51, 52 years, and he sees 17 games. If you get sick a week, that means you miss half the Browns games. Did you see that birth?
I wanted that birth certificate for Bull to make sure he's lying about 1971. This from Paul A. real quick. We were supposed to be a quarterback away from contending. What happened? Defense actually got worse. I don't want to wear this jersey anymore. You guys want to talk Watson? You want to start with Watson, or you want to start somewhere else in today's game in particular?
I mean,
Look, can I say this?
Go ahead.
Somebody did say G. Bush in here giving rants about Captain Crunch and unicorns and fairy tales, but he was one with the 6-0 Kool-Aid.
That's true.
I'll give you was right on that. I forget who said that. Shout out to you. I would give you a thumbs up because I was delusional.
So between you and Quincy Q, you guys were 89% positive it was going to be 6-0.
Good gracious.
So
yeah. Well, let me say about Watson, it was not a good game for Deshaun Watson. That first pick he threw was a terrible throw. I don't know what he was doing there. Overall, in this, I have very little doubt that Deshaun Watson is going to turn it around next year. The bottom line is, if Deshaun Watson can't turn it around, we already think the Browns are a disaster. If Deshaun Watson, for whatever reason, cannot get back to the player he was in Houston, the organization is screwed for at least a minimum of 2-3 years, if not longer. So they're screwed. So, but I still believe 99.9% that Deshaun Watson is going to be a good quarterback next year. But the reality is that if you look at the 6 games as a whole that he played, even with them needing another wide receiver, the offensive line not playing great at times, the coaching staff, which we've criticized plenty and are really killing today, even with all of it, he's not been good. No. He's not been good. Overall, he has not been good through 6 games. There's, we can make all the excuses we want. The rust, the offensive line, the coach, whatever. He has not played good enough. And he's got to play a whole lot better next year. And I think we all expect him to, but he's better. Otherwise, they're completely screwed.
Do 2 super chats real quick. And everyone out there, almost 1,800 people. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. This might be the most we've done on any post-game show. And we are sorry that this is a somber post-game show and not a joyous, cheerous one that we're going to the playoffs. This is from Uber Driver. He says this team needs Sean Payton. The combination of him and Watson would be dynamic. Just a heads up, the Saints are asking for at least a first-round pick in return. The Browns do not have a first-round pick. You can end any and all Sean Payton to the Browns rumors right now, as much as we would like to see him here.
I mean, it's possible they could trade a 2024 first-round pick.
Let's just end it. They are not getting Sean Payton.
No, they're not.
Just
honestly, is Sean Payton, let's be fair, Sean Payton's got options. Is he going to come here and deal with freaking Jimmy Haslam? No chance.
I'm just throwing out there. We all know he's potentially out there. He is not coming to Cleveland. Let's just squash this rumors. This from Cedric Lyons. Joe Woods got to go. Remove Stefanski from play calling. Question why don't DBs look back for the ball against wide receivers? And we got one more from Michael Rodriguez. Texans came into the league in 2002 and have won 6 division titles. Browns back to 4th place per usual. Something drastic has to happen. And then here's Buck again. And these we got more super chats coming in, guys. We're gonna read these real quick. Hasman Stefanski, you want gone, but Barry ain't catching that same smoke.
He catching it.
Yeah, I think if you fire Stefanski, you fire Barry too.
They the same person.
Absolutely.
Andy Podesta. If you decide you got to move on for Stefanski, I fire everybody. Everybody.
And last one from.
And
Charles
by the way, let me throw this at you. For people say, "Well, you guys want to fire," and I haven't. Let me tell you,
this is first day wanting to fire people.
Let me throw this out. Let me throw this out here. How about you hire? And now I don't know if this would work. But I'm looking. Here's what my thought is: I need a head coach with experience. Yes. My other thought is not a lot of head coaches with experience are going to want to coach with the Browns because of Haslam. Now you do have Deshaun Watson, so there are probably a lot of coaches that would want to coach him. But my thought is bring in Brian Flores as the head coach, and then try. Now I don't know if he would come, but hire Eric Bieniemy to be offensive coordinator. Now, the Chiefs would have to give permission because he's offensive coordinator there. But there, he shares the play calling duties with Reed. Here, he would have full autonomy of the offense. I don't know that he'd want to do it. I would think he would. It would put him maybe in a better position to get a head coaching job because he'd be running the offense because Flores is a defensive guy. That's a tricky situation, but I'm just kind of throwing that out there. What do you guys think?
That would be an A. That's an A+. I mean, if you can pull that off, I think that's an A+.
Bye. I'd do it right now.
Yeah.
I'll do it right now.
Out there, I would do it in a heartbeat. And G, real quick from Charles T. G, please don't have a heart attack. We need Rants next season too. Start stirring that 2023 Kool-Aid when the new coaching staff gets hired.
Guys, I don't think Stefanski's going anywhere. So
I don't think so either.
That's why I'm getting my money off right now because guess what? They're not gonna get rid of him, and it's gonna be rough a little bit. Hey guys, if we missed your super chat, the thing is going so fast.
I don't think we missed any. Did someone say we missed one?
Yeah, somebody said we missed one.
Wow. Hey, this thing is flying, and that's why you guys are the best. I apologize if I missed one. This is Charles T's, the last one I see.
So
by the way, guys, I got a sidebar note really quick.
Yeah, hey, do your sidebar. I'm looking to see for a super chat we missed.
Well, you're going to be interested in this, Mike. This is big. It's basketball related, real quick.
Oh, I'm in.
All right.
So I forgot to tell you guys this week. So my son's rec league basketball season started this weekend.
Oh, right. Let's go.
And I am the assistant coach for the Rocky River Raptors.
All right, listen, are you coaching the big guys or the small guys? Usually
well, I'm kind of working with the big guys a little bit.
Okay.
That's my son and his buddy Patrick and his one other kid Jackson are
I heard Patrick's got a nice little skyhook already. That's the word on the street is. We're talking about that
Patrick's an animal out there. He's awesome. He's a good kid. They're good kids. We got 8 kids. We took a rough beat down at the hands of the Rocky River Cavs.
Hey, Bull,
really?
We lost 16-8. 16-8. It was not pretty.
Someone, oh my God, bro, said we missed your super chat. If you put it back in, it doesn't be a super chat. Oh my God, if you put it back in, we'll get yours up. I apologize on that. Yeah. All right, you lost 16.
We lost 16-8. And I was like, okay, maybe all these scores are low. I heard one team in the league scored 40 yesterday. And we scored 8.
It might be.
Well, you need to call me as an assistant to the assistant head coach.
Hey,
what's that?
That might be in it.
You need me as the assistant to the assistant head coach.
Maybe. You want to come down next Saturday?
I'd love to, yeah.
Well, come down for practice first. We practice on Wednesday nights, and then we play Saturdays.
That's perfect. I don't play on Wednesdays. That's perfect.
All right. We need you out there.
I will say this, man. You know, so funny is when we look at this organization, I try to do.
I don't know who this Anthony Antonelli kid is, but I'm going to ban him from the chat.
Yeah, maybe we should put you on my team. We could use you, Mike.
I would love to play the post against little 8-year-olds.
I'm going to
domination. I've always wanted to dunk on somebody.
They're not. They're 8-9.
I don't believe. I was a little alarmed today about how Watson played. I ain't gonna lie.
I was too.
And I'm a big supporter. But today looked like 2 steps back. I mean, he stared down a couple of dudes on interceptions. He threw behind people. I know that the offensive line didn't have everything going, but it didn't seem like he was comfortable in the pocket. It looked like he had a lot of happy feet. And I'm not gonna lie, the play looked like if you just examine it and you watch it, it looked the way Baker Mayfield used to look when he was uncomfortable. He would always roll out. You'd be like, "Why are you running into that?" Or "Why do you need to be moving around?" Like instead of stepping up to it, and it just looks like the Browns playbook is like everybody is in some sort of Toyota Sonata, and everybody is trying to run these routes in no spacing. Everyone, I saw 3 people 2 yards above the line of scrimmage, and I was like, are you guys not running routes or what is it? The offense just looks pitiful. It's boring. It's vanilla. It's like watching paint dry. And my thing is like, I'm trying to figure out, even if they stay and hang out all summer, how is that going to look better? They just don't look like a professional offense. They don't.
Yeah, and I just looked at Watson's game log. And once again, before I say anything, let me preface this, and I mean this with the most sincerity possible. I think he's going to be fine next year. I think he's going to get back to old Watson. I am 100% with Bull that I am 0.0% worried about Watson being not this level next season with the full offseason under his belt. But you look at this game log, he played 6 games. The most yards he threw in any game was 276, and a lot of that came in garbage time against the Bengals in his second game. That was a loss. They were down. They came back late. They only scored 10 points. They scored 20 points once in 6 games with Deshaun Watson. He threw multiple touchdown passes twice, and that was today, including, which was helped out by a roughing the passer penalty that allowed them to avoid 3rd and 16 from the 17-yard line. On that last drive.
It's not even numbers, Mike. It's just it's the eye test, right? You know, it's just
exactly.
And think about this, guys. Think about this. Like, we know the Bengals offense is really good, but or the Bengals team is really good, but the Ravens, like Lamar Jackson didn't even play that well this year. And then he was hurt. And they still won 10 games? Mm-hmm. And the Steelers had Kenny Pickett as a rookie. Now, I look at him and I think he's going to be just a decent NFL, like a Baker or a Garoppolo, middle of the road quarterback. But
Agreed.
He'll still get better than what he was this year. I think, and and they still won 9 freaking games.
You cannot let them finish above you. Like, it's just they had him and Mitch Trubisky. Let's just go back to this. The Panthers were in the playoff chase. They started Baker, then went to Sam Darnold, then went back to Baker, then went to another guy. I don't know. He was like
I forgot his name.
A mobile quarterback.
PJ Walker.
PJ Walker.
Then they went to the rookie. Then they went back to Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
The Jets trotted out 4 starting quarterbacks.
Yeah.
How it so that's
and none of them are as good as Brissett or Watson.
And that's
now, though, in fairness, the Jets, finished with the same record as the Browns, but still,
that's the point.
They beat you.
I think Joey's point is, they played 4 quarterbacks, and I think you take Brissett over any of the 4 they played.
Right, Brissett actually played well.
Brissett played better than Watson did this year. Brissett was the best of any of the quarterbacks we've really named. The Panthers would have took Brissett. The Steelers would have took Brissett. The Jets certainly would take Brissett.
By the way, guys, the only good news is the Steelers did not make the playoffs. The Dolphins did win 11-6 was the final score. That's got to be is that a first 11-6?
Origami, I'm not sure. Bull.
Yeah.
You did predict very early in the season that this was the year Tomlin, the record was broken. We may have a surprise for you coming in.
I crapped a bet on that one.
A fan has asked if he can mail you a present for your failure on this one. I think I'm going to let him do it. We're going to open the show. So,
but the Steelers still didn't make the playoffs, but I was wrong.
Two super chats real quick. DJ Knight says, I've been a Browns fan since the playoff run in 1980 with Red Right 88. The drive of 86, the fumble of 87. I still can't cheer for another team.
Of
DJ
course
Knight,
not.
You are a loyal fan.
Nobody's asking anybody to cheer for another team, Mike. You can't. Your heart is what your heart is, but you don't have to spend. But you don't have to spend any money on the team. You don't have to spend money.
Agreed. HNT says if Kevin is calling plays, it's boring. With the 100 emoji. This next one comes from Mark Kahn. I counted one time Watson held the ball for 6 seconds. The offensive line was bad today, guys. Like bad today. And I'm curious, and I'm not an offensive line guru. You're probably
big super chat here. Big one. We want to get this one in.
From DJ Knight.
No, oh my God, bro.
We need some kind of consistency with the organization to get past this slump. I'm scrolling down here.
Oh my God, bro. It's near the top.
I wish you could. Is it past Sly? If we had Cincinnati, Pitt, or Baltimore defense, we would have made the playoffs. That's probably a fact.
It's more recent.
Here, I got. Oh my God, bro. And I apologize earlier. Brian Flores got fired for being too hard on players and caring about winning. Andrew Berry is mid. He's only good at trades and signed Jack Conklin to the deal, and he never plays. Bumbo Clot.
Come on, you don't know Bumba Clot?
Yeah, of course.
Mike, could you be any wider?
Listen, trying to read that off the cuff without really knowing what's going is tough. But yeah, Bumba Clot. That's a GTA word.
Hey, bro,
you don't know what GTA is, bro.
Lord, I'm just trying to talk myself through it. I'm just trying to talk because if I'm asking myself, and feel free to put it in chat, because I want to get polls. How many of y'all are as confident in Deshaun Watson moving back to his old form than you were before he played? If you are, put a 1. But if you think like, ooh, I don't know, it's 50-50 borderline, put a 2. If you confident, you still as confident as heck that Deshaun Watson is going to be the Deshaun Watson of 4,750 touchdowns or something, put the 1. But if you kind of like, listen, I didn't see what I was looking like. I didn't see it. I mean,
split, G. You see these numbers?
I guess if we're being real, there's no way you could be as confident because in the last 2 years he's either not played or he played poorly. But I'm still very confident. But there's no way I could be as confident because he didn't play well.
I was 100%. There was you could have told me nothing.
You were 100%. He'd be old Watson by the second half of the first
by
game
second,
back, G.
And if he would have kept on a progression, he had 3 touchdowns last week. But this week, I saw him staring down stuff. He threw a pick that could have got picked off by 3 dudes. If he would have
which one do you think was worse, G? The first or the second?
They was both bad.
They were both bad. I actually think
but the second, at least, the guy had to make a good play to make the interception.
The first one was horrible.
But he straight up stared him down from the snap. When they showed that replay of Casey from the back angle looking in, Watson dropped back.
Yeah.
Knew he wanted to go to David Bell. Never manipulated the defense with his eyes and let it fly.
But the first one, I don't even know who he was throwing to on the first one. I mean, he just threw it into a gang of Steelers players.
There was more Steelers players.
It was
than
a gango?
A gaggle. A gaggle.
A gaggle of Steelers. Donnie Hempton, real quick question, fellas. Who should we target offensively? I was initially thinking wide receiver, but man, left tackle might need to be addressed. Your thoughts?
A left tackle is going to be hard to address. Without a first-round pick, good left tackles don't end up in free agency.
No.
I'm with G. You and I have both agreed that Wills. Everybody else seems to defend him. A lot of the guys in the league seem to defend him. Joe Thomas has defended him, but I just don't see it. I just don't think he's any good.
I just don't think he's very good. I never thought he was that good in Alabama. He's okay. He needs to be encompassed by other linemen. A la he's a guard or a center, and he can't snap. So therefore he is a guard. Yeah. Oh, by the way, our best two players up on the line are guards. Yeah. And by the way, our guards didn't do a very good job of pass protection.
No.
I mean, because think about it. I don't know if these was. That's another thing. Was it players weren't open, or was it was those coverage sacks? Or
I think you play defensive line, so help me answer this. I think it's probably a combination of everything. I also think Watson just scared to let it rip right away. I don't think he's comfortable with his receivers enough to anticipate their cuts yet. Yeah, where he just plants and lets it fire. And I don't know.
No doubt.
That's just what it looks like to me.
The best quarterbacks, right? They throw the ball where they know the receiver's going to be. They'll even throw it before that guy's open or there. Yeah. He's not doing that yet because he doesn't have that confidence in himself or in his connection with the receivers. I'm very confident still he's going to be good next year. The people that are writing him off, saying he's not even better than Baker, those people are idiots. I'm going to ignore those people.
They tripping. But him and Stefanski better go to a quarterback camp. They better go to a 7-on-7, Elite 11, Under Armour Nike game, or whatever they got to do, or live with each other this offseason, because they better listen. This thing is on them, because it's just them two. This is what it is, people. If Deshaun Watson and Kevin Stefanski don't get married, don't figure it out, they better be lockstep and lights out next year, or we are looking, we're looking at another rebuild. That's what it's going to be.
2 super chats real quick. Joey Keller, we appreciate you too. Thank you for being a loyal fan. And Bull, I'm not sure what this one means, but this is directed towards you. Bull, might be time for another one of your chants, like 3 or so years ago. Loved it. Do you know
which chant was that? I can't remember. Jeffrey, which chant? I've done so many chants over the years.
Thousands.
Baker sucks. Baker sucks.
Yeah, Baker does suck. That's true.
But it don't even hit the same no more because you're the worst place. Kenny Pickett got buckets on you today.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah. There's so many. Yeah, it's just I don't know. This is
Think about this, guys. Think about the quarterbacks that the Browns lost to this year.
I did this for the show tomorrow. It's sad, Bull. It's sad.
So they lost to Joe Flacco, Marcus Mariota, Justin Herbert's good, Mac Jones.
No,
Bailey Zappi.
No. Oh, Bailey Zappi, right.
Bailey Zappi.
Did Lamar Jackson play that first Ravens?
He did. He played the first one.
Yes.
Okay, so Lamar Jackson. They lost to, was it Tua? Was he back for that game?
Yes, it was Tua.
Okay, Tua. Josh Allen, all right, there's 2 decent quarterbacks. They did lose to Burrow. Then they lost to Andy Dalton, and now to Kenny Pickett.
That's tough. That's
And Mariota completed 7 passes. Just remember that. 7 passes.
And can I ask y'all this? This is real talk.
Yeah.
It almost seemed like in this game, they were resigned to say, nope, we're gonna throw this ball. We're going to see what we got. It was we're going to see what we got. It's like Madden. You draft a quarterback in Madden. He's young. You really can't. You only throw one money route with him, and then you run the ball the other plays to get first downs to throw your money route because you're getting your quarterback better. It just seemed like Nick Chubb would be like, hey, I'm getting 7. I'm getting 6. But they're like, listen, we want to be a passing team. And it doesn't matter if you get 10 yards of crack. This offense is going to be about Deshaun Watson. It's almost as if they were trying to telling y'all, look, do not look forward. Don't look forward to the Nick Chubb of old. We may have all seen the last of
The great Nick Chubb.
The great Nick Chubb, or the Chubb that dominates, or the way the Browns play the game. I think we've been used to it for so long that it's just I don't think
I wonder, G, you know how we talked about, we did on Wednesday, should the Browns try to get Chubb the rushing title, and that was such a big point of emphasis on the broadcast against the Commanders. I wonder if in those production meetings, Chubb and the offensive lineman told the broadcasters, like, hey, we know with Watson here, I'm not going to get enough carries to be competitive in that race anymore. This is my one chance to come in and do it. And then obviously didn't happen. Bo, we got 2 super chats real quick.
Yeah.
It was the Fire Freddy chant.
Oh, Fire Freddy.
Yeah. Listen,
we
forgot all about
I'm
Freddy.
not familiar with it.
Just Fire Freddy. I think that's all it was. I don't even remember it exactly. I've done so many over the years, I can't remember. I forgot about Freddie Kitchens. He was what a mutton chop that guy was.
One, Watson is the truth, and I'm in Houston, Texas. If you see multiple QBs respond the same to the offense, get him some O-line help and receivers.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Watson.
G. Bush promised us that you're going to continue to give your spectacular analogies next season. You're the man, McNuggets. You rock, Bull. Your debates with the guys are solid gold. DJ Knight, thank you very much.
Love you, DJ Knight.
Listen, these super chats are coming in. This chat is blowing up. It's why we got the best fans in the world. Like Cleveland people are real different.
This is why.
They're real different.
This is why.
If this was almost any other city and the team had just crapped the bed like this and fallen to 7-10 with some expectations, we wouldn't have the thousands of people that are listening and watching us now, and they're going to be with us tomorrow. Because other cities are lame like that. We're not.
And by the way, you guys have made the chat like this is a phenomenon, right? Right now, I want y'all to know that y'all really actually put other post-game shows out of business. Y'all put them out.
It's a fact. Thank you.
Like you put them because look, you know how you go on a post-game show and they don't take no calls? Bro, your calls is here. Not only is the calls here, you watch it, everybody else's take real time. So it's like, and you get the raw, uncut emotion.
That's right.
Up. So,
and G, we're not unlike the radio station post game shows. We're not corporate.
Yeah, and you could call
us out. We don't work for the Browns.
And you call us out and we read it.
Yeah,
you're like G. Bush. You're delusional. I'm like, I was drinking that 6-0 Kool-Aid.
Speaking of calling us out, we got 2 more super chats. This from K Mahalik 33. Leadership is critical. Stefanski's proven to be an ineffective communicator. Part of being a head coach includes having difficult conversations. He can't. That's a death nail. I think nail she meant.
Death knell.
Yeah.
Death knell.
Death knell.
No, I'm not sure. I'm unfamiliar with the word knell. And how coaches lose respect. And one more real quick from Michael C. Rodriguez. Including this season, Pittsburgh finishes above the Browns in the standings for the 30th straight. Is that true?
What?
Hold on. 89 was the last season Cleveland finished above.
Are you serious?
Bruh.
They finished tied a couple of times, I think, in that. It's the
that
year.
That means in my entire life.
Are you serious?
The Browns
I believe that's true, yes.
Wow.
By the way, a number of people in the chat saying our post game much better than 92.3 The Fan. I mean, let's face it. 92.3 The Fan is struggling right now, and they're part of corporate radio.
he just threw the barbershop under there. You got to say they're struggling except for the barbershop.
Except for the barbershop.
Can you even, G. Bush, are you even allowed to call your show the barbershop anymore?
Hey, listen, I own the barbershop. What are you talking about?
Just don't say you work for the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, G. That's not allowed.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, right. I can't.
Lamos.
Now, I will say that LeBron, do not get hype. Listen, we from the same area code. Let me get my money off over here. I get it, big homie. Let me just work. I'm just saying. We're not in the same demographic. Like
now, you guys. Here's what I think you should do. You should have a combined barbershop with you and LeBron. That needs to happen.
That'd be great. Listen, that'd be crazy.
You have better hair than LeBron.
Why didn't LeBron not retweet when you were blowing up with all those football players? We needed a LeBron. That would have been the top.
If we'd have got that LeBron joint, he probably was.
Hey, who retweeted that? That was your like most starstruck retweet. Maybe not starstruck is the right word, but the most shocked.
So you got Des Bryant. Maybe?
Des Bryant.
Yeah.
OBJ, I was like, I'm confused about that. This one, Michael Parsons. And I did an interview with Jesse Jackson today.
You did?
GNN, baby. GNN in full force.
Early in the morning, 8 o'clock.
Where were you on with Jesse Jackson?
I was on with Chicago.
No, but like on a radio show?
Yeah, he got a radio show on Sunday.
I didn't know that.
It's like called Lift Your Spirits or something. I was on there with Jesse Jackson.
That's wild.
It's crazy.
Joe Budden.
Joe Budden, DJ Vlad. Shout out to him. I appreciate it, bro.
GNN blowing up, man, out there with Jesse Jackson.
But guess
GNN
what?
is the best nickname of this year. That is.
But we right back here on the post game.
That's right.
I was not this.
You keep it real. You keep it real.
I just show up.
That's right.
GNN is rooted. All right, guys, we got 5 minutes left before we wrap our final post game show. Real quick reminder to the 1,700 people still in here. Y'all are the best. If you don't know, we're part of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show Monday through Friday, 11 to 1 a.m., 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Daily, we talk about essentially everything you can imagine Cleveland sports and sometimes some national topics when they're big enough. Hit that like button, subscribe, become a member. We appreciate all the help from you guys.
Hey, guys, did you see this?
What?
I believe, let me just double check that I'm right about this.
Well, I'll read the super chat while you're checking.
Go read the super chat.
I agree with G. If KS not it, it's a rebuild next year. If you fire him now, isn't it also a rebuild? Probably should wait and see. Signing off as GNN. Thanks, Charles T.
Remember when our guy Jay Crawford said Jeff Saturday could be the answer for the Colts?
Is he already fired?
Well, no, he's not fired, but he's lost every game since winning that first game, including, how about this? The Houston Texans.
Wait, the Texans won?
The Texans cost themselves the first pick in the draft by going for 2 to win, and they got it.
That means Lovie Smith's on the way out, and that's a giant middle finger.
Oh my God! They went.
Office.
They scored a touchdown with 50 seconds left to make it a 1-point game. They went for 2. They got it, and they cost themselves the first pick. The Bears have the first pick in the draft.
Wow,
that's crazy.
The Bears got the first pick now.
Bears got the first, and they're not going to take a quarterback, so they're going to trade.
Well, so actually, it doesn't really hurt, but the Bears should trade that first pick without a doubt. Yeah. They're going to get a haul for that. A haul.
Yes. Hey, somebody, who's ready to go up to get that quarterback? Bryce Young,
and it's tough because it's Bryce Young's going to be the first quarterback taken most likely, but he's a little guy and he's not a surefire lock.
I'm not sold.
I'm not
he's
either.
A special talent, but I'm not sold. Real quick, one more super chat, then I got a question for us to wrap it up here. Barry says, Bull, love the intellectual, honestly. McNugg, you've done an awesome job this year. G, keep preaching the gospel. Winning organizations are decisive. KS has to go. He has 0 leadership experience. All right, guys, bold prediction. I'm putting you on the spot. We didn't talk about this, but we got 3 minutes. We will break down everything else about this game tomorrow on Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show from 11 to 1. Major roster prediction for next season. Either a star who's on the team currently who won't be on the team for 2023, or a star who's not currently on the roster who will be for the Browns in 2023. Shoot.
G, you got one?
I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna predict John Johnson's not on this roster.
That's not a star. Give me a bigger name.
All right. You want a bigger name? Dang, that's kind of tough.
I know. I'm putting you on the spot. It's not a fair question. I'm not. What I do?
Well, what's the name? Won't be back. The middle linebacker. What's his name? Anthony Walker. He will not be back.
Okay.
He played his last game here.
I'll say the Browns trade for Brandon Cooks.
I like that.
Is that big enough?
I like that. I don't know who, what, when, where, or why. I have a feeling Denzel Ward's not suiting up for the Browns next year.
I would move Denzel Ward for DK Metcalf.
It's gonna be tough to trade. His contract is not super tradable, but I have a feeling he is. Hey,
I don't see it. I don't see that. But yeah, you know what? That makes it a bold prediction if I don't see it. Right? It wouldn't be that bold. John
Johnson got hurt anyway today. I hope he's all right. By the way, we make fun of John Johnson a lot.
Hey, hopefully Wills and Johnson is cool. Yeah. I had a lot of energies for enough for everybody. And getting hurt the last game of the season really sucks. And I will at least give you credit. At least you came out here and gave it up. Some people was like, "Yeah, I'm done," and he's already on vacation. So I appreciate y'all come out here and at least working.
By the way,
last prediction, Bull.
Next week, Ravens at the Bengals. G, who you rooting for?
Bengals. I don't hate the Ravens, bro. I hate the Ravens and Steelers, bro. I'll
like
never root for them.
I like Joe Burrow, and I like Jamar Chase.
I mean, I know Joe Burrow people, so
yeah.
All
right, prediction. Last prediction. I think we're all in agreement. Woods and Prefer are gone. Does it happen before we're on air tomorrow, or does it happen after at the 3:30 press conference?
No, if they're going to fire him, it happens before the press conference. I'm starting to think there's a chance that Kevin Stefanski might be fired, but he probably won't. but who knows? You never know with Jimmy. You never know.
Is it a better chance that Kevin Stefanski's fired or everybody comes back?
Better chance Stefanski's fired than everyone comes back because I think there's a 0.0% chance Prefer and Woods are back.
Well, I think there's a reasonable chance that Prefer's back. I don't think there's any chance Woods is back.
Listen.
You think there's a better chance Prefer's back than Woods?
Definitely.
I think Woods is trying to sneak his way back into the house. I think he got a 25%. My dad is on the couch. He just flipped out. He tried to pass out. He said, Woods. Yeah, Joe Woods has about listen, I don't like it, man.
Y'all tripping. There's no way.
25%.
I don't see it.
After what Clowney said and some of the other things I've heard from people that I can't say on air just about other rumblings.
Yeah, Woods is not. No way Woods is back.
I
don't
can't
see it.
imagine Woods is back. And Prefer, I haven't heard anything about him. I don't have any connects with the special teams unit. Corey Bjorka is not in my phone shooting me inside nuggets. And Cade York, I think, hates us after Jay serenaded him on week 1, and then we've done nothing but rip him apart since then. So, yeah, we don't have – who's the long snapper? Charlie Hewlett?
Yeah.
Him and Polk are tight, but Polk doesn't share those nuggets with us either. So
he's really tight with Charlie Hewlett?
He's the only person ever on a 4-minute monologue about Charlie Hewlett on national YouTube TV. So I'm guessing he might be Charlie Hewitt's #1 fan.
That one dude, I was freaked out. You asked who's the biggest one? The dude from the House of Cards. And
Michael Kelly.
Michael Kelly.
And he hit me back 2-3 times. I was like, dude.
We got to get him on the show, man. That guy's awesome.
I was like, he's the fixer.
Did you ask him to come on the show?
He's also on Jack Ryan, which is a show that's really good, too, on Amazon.
So, real quick, pull back the curtain real quick, and then we got to run. But we got Bernard Pollard coming on the show Tuesday, Bull.
Yeah.
And he
retweeted. He retweeted.
I like
he was
that.
retweeting. He was defending you. And I'm in the works talking to a couple of the NFL guys who said in the offseason they'd be willing to come on based on that tweet. So we're going to get some NFL players.
Got to get Des Bryant, man.
Anyone that you've interacted or you've gone on their show, like, let's do a trade for trade.
We'll do it. Like, I'll pull up.
So let's do it. Michael Kelly's a good one. I was a big fan of his in House of Cards. Even though, can we say we like House of Cards, or is that officially canceled?
Man, we can say we like House of Cards.
Stop. Most of Cards was by the way, 90% of the stuff that people say got canceled didn't actually get canceled.
Yeah, they just said we don't like
canceled though.
Right.
Well, that has nothing to do with political correctness. That's because he did inappropriate things with people.
By the way,
he was the star in that show.
Yeah, but the show didn't get canceled.
Robin was her name?
Robin Wright Penn.
Yeah. She did her thing in House of
That
Cards.
show was phenomenal. It ended. Last season was but I thought the first.
By the way, she was like amazing in Forrest Gump, man. She was so gorgeous in that movie.
That's the same person?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, that's why I don't mess with y'all movie dudes. Y'all movie dudes be knowing everything. I'll be like, that it blew my mind. I said, what? That's her?
By the way, I said to my wife this morning, I said, G had such a funny line this week. He said that, man, he's talking to Jay and I, and he said, man, white people are best friends with their sons. That's so funny. And I told my wife that, and she was laughing her ass off.
For real. They be like, y'all be like friends, and like y'all be, and it's cool because y'all hang out at early ages.
Yeah. But like I said, G, you and your dad are tight and still tight.
Yeah, but me and my dad didn't become cool like that until I was like 35.
Oh,
like,
all right.
He was like, oh, you're still a subordinate. Like,
yeah.
Tommy Gallucci, we thank you too. We appreciate the thoughts, and we're not going anywhere. Don't worry, we're not going anywhere. So we will be here for next round season.
This has been a beautiful experiment. We will do this again for what's the name, right? Cavs games, right?
Playoffs.
Certain Cavs games, yeah.
Playoffs, definitely.
Yeah, we don't have there's too many games to do this on.
Yeah, I think playoffs, right? Playoffs will be back.
Playoffs will, we'll get into it. Yeah, so
it was fun doing those Guardians playoffs, so the Cavs playoff will be fun too.
I love those ones.
All right, everybody.
This is it for the 2-minute warning show. 18 of these in the books, including a preseason game. Wow, maybe we do one for a certain playoff game if the matchup comes right. We'll just see how we do. But either way, it's been a blast. G. Bush, Adam the Bull, thanks for hanging out with us. To the ghost of Jeff Lloyd and your internet. R.I.P. Pour one out for you, Jeff.
Jeff Lloyd.
Hey, I got pre-wrap. It's the closest I have to a shot glass right here, but the pour one out here.
I got a bottle of pills. Those look what it is.
A bottle of pills.
I almost spit my water all over the place.
Back in Jersey. We will see y'all tomorrow on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. For GNN, it's Petty
Love you,
LeBoy,
Cleveland. But bleep the Browns. What the hell?